Kelsea Ballerini's rise to fame has always been marked by her ability to turn pain into art, to take heartbreak, confusion, and change, and transform them into music that resonates with millions. But this time, the story isn't about a chart-topping single
From the very
or a
second the
glossy
rumors
magazine
started
cover.
bubbling up online
It's about the
that
woman
Tamar
behind the
Braxton,
lyrics,
the
navigating one of the
outspoken,
most emotionally
legendary,
challenging
glamorous,
chapters of
and
her life,
endlessly
the
entertaining
sudden
queen
and
that she
highly
is,
publicized
had
end
stepped
of her
into a
relationship
brand new
with actor
romance.
Stokes.
Social media didn't
Today,
just
she's finally
react,
peeling
it
back the curtain
combusted.
and revealing what's
It
been
caught
happening
fire
behind
like
the
somebody
scenes.
dropped
Not the
gasoline on a
tabloid
candle,
headlines, not the
because whenever
online
Tamar
rumors,
moves,
but the
the
quiet
internet
truth she's
moves
been
with her.
carrying in her heart.
But this time,
This
it
is
wasn't
Kelsea
her
Ballerini's
music,
most
her
personal
interviews,
update yet,
her iconic
delivered with
one-liners,
honesty,
or even the family
vulnerability, and a
drama that
clarity she
usually
fought
gets the
hard to
world
reclaim.
talking. No,
Before we
this
dive
time,
into her
the
recent
entire
update,
online
it's important to
universe was
understand
stirred
the
up over
emotional journey
one
that
thing:
brought Kelsea to this
Tamar
point.
Braxton and
Her
her
career
alleged
wasn't
new
built
man.
on overnight
And not
success.
just any man.
She spent
This
years
man is
grinding in
younger,
Nashville,
much
playing
younger,
small bars,
handsome,
writing
private,
hundreds of
secure,
songs,
and
hoping one of them
reportedly
would change
very,
her life.
very wealthy.
When she
The
finally
type of
broke
wealthy
through,
that doesn't
she
need to be
became known for
loud.
her bright
The type of wealthy
personality
that
and
doesn't
fearless
need validation.
individuality.
The
But
type of
fame
wealthy
didn't
that is
protect her from
built, not
heartbreak.
borrowed.
And in
And the type of
2022,
wealthy that
she
moves
shocked
in
fans
silence,
when she
not
revealed she was
selfies.
divorcing fellow
And
country
that
star Morgan
combination,
Evans
Tamar
after nearly
plus
5 years
younger
of
plus
marriage.
rich plus
The split
private
left her
plus peaceful
reevaluating
energy,
everything she thought she knew
baby,
about
the
love,
internet couldn't
commitment,
resist.
and the
Because Tamar
expectations placed on
Braxton has
women in
lived such a
relationships.
public life for so
That
long,
divorce
people
became a
feel like
deeply
they know
transformative
her,
chapter
like
that
they've
forced her
grown
to
with her,
confront old
cried with
wounds,
her,
build
laughed
new
with her,
boundaries,
and gone
rediscover
through
her
every
voice
relationship
outside of
and
being someone's
breakup at her
partner.
side,
By the
even when
time
she
Chase
didn't
Stokes
ask for
entered
any
her
of that.
life, Kelsea
So
was
when
still
people
healing,
started
but
noticing
open,
that Tamar was
cautiously
glowing
open
differently,
to new beginnings.
smiling with a softness that
Their
felt
romance
new,
felt refreshing,
speaking with a
effortless,
gentleness
and
instead of her
surprisingly
usual
lighthearted.
fiery edge,
Chase,
fans
known for his
instantly
role on
knew
the hit Netflix
something
series
or
Outer
someone
Banks,
had entered the
brought a
picture.
youthful energy into
And
her
that's when
world.
the investigations
Fans loved
began.
how different he
Tamar's
seemed from
fan
the
base,
polished
who
industry
sometimes
figures
behaves
she
like an
had
entire
previously been
intelligence
connected
agency,
to.
went
He
straight
was
into
playful,
detective mode.
expressive,
They combed through
spontaneous, and
photos,
their
matched
chemistry was
locations,
undeniable,
hunted for
whether
clues,
they were sharing
magnified
backstage
reflections,
photos
compared
or
hand
cheering each
sizes,
other on at
yes,
events.
that's real,
For a
and tried to
while, their
catch even the
relationship was a
tiniest
welcome
glimpse of the
distraction from the
mysterious man
heaviness of her
who had
past
Tamar
year.
looking like she found a
It felt
pocket of
like two
heavenly
people
peace
choosing joy
in a
after
world that
surviving
usually
emotional
drains her.
storms.
And the more people
But behind the
dug,
cute
the more the
selfies and red
internet
carpet
exploded
appearances,
with
their
excitement,
worlds were
because
drastically
everything
different.
pointed toward the same
Kelsea was in the
story.
middle of redefining
Tamar
her
Braxton
career,
is being loved
sharpening her
differently
artistic
this time,
identity,
loved
and building a
softly,
new
loved
emotional
quietly,
foundation after
loved
divorce.
intentionally,
Chase was
loved by
navigating
someone who
sudden
isn't
global
here for fame,
press
someone who is
obligations,
here for
long filming
her.
schedules,
But the
and the
real
chaos
shock
that comes
factor,
with starring
the
in
one
a
that
hit
has the
TV show.
blogs, fans,
Their
and even
lives
the
moved at
haters
two different
whispering like they're
speeds,
reading
and
a
the
thriller
facts,
novel,
though subtle at
is that
first,
this man
became
is not only
impossible to
younger,
ignore.
but reportedly very,
Fans
very
noticed when their
rich.
social media
And not the
interactions became
Instagram
less
money
frequent.
rich, not borrowed
Paparazzi shot more
luxury,
photos of
not
Kelsey
rented
solo.
lifestyle, not
Chase
social
appeared at
media
events without
flexing.
her,
The
and the
whispers
online
suggest that this
speculation
man's
started
wealth
bubbling
comes from
long before
actual
the breakup was
business,
confirmed.
real investments, real
But when the
corporate
news finally
connections,
dropped,
and
Kelsey
generational
didn't rush to
building
defend
power.
herself,
The
didn't
type of
engage
man
with
who doesn't
gossip,
need to seek
and didn't
attention because
interview
his life is
internet
already
drama.
full. The
She
type of
stayed
man who
silent,
doesn't need
choosing
Tamar's
emotional
spotlight
protection over
because he has
public
his own
performance.
lane, his own
And
money,
now,
his
with
own
E! News
foundation.
sharing her
And
long-awaited
that is
update,
exactly what
we
fans have
finally
wanted for
understand
Tamar for
why.
years.
Kelsea
But to
wasn't
understand
hiding.
why this
She was
moment is so
healing.
meaningful,
She needed
so
time to
rich with
find the words
emotion,
that felt
and so
true to her
symbolic for
experience,
Tamar's journey,
rather than responding
we
out
have
of
to
shock
talk
or
about where
frustration.
she's been. Because
Her
Tamar
update wasn't a
Braxton hasn't had an
reaction,
easy
it was a
road to
reflection.
love. Yes, she's
In
been
her personal
glamorous.
update,
Yes, she's been
Kelsea begins by
successful.
acknowledging
Yes,
how
she's been
overwhelming the
iconic.
past year
But
has
she's
been.
also had some of the
Juggling
most
back-to-back
public
tours,
heartbreaks
endless travel, new
imaginable.
music releases,
Heartbreaks that
and the
played
pressure
out
to
on
constantly
television,
appear
in
okay
newspapers,
in the
on
public eye.
blogs, in interviews.
She admitted that she had
Heartbreaks where
pushed
people
herself too
took
hard for too
sides,
long.
gossiped,
For
judged,
someone who has always
dissected her
taken pride
every
in her
move,
ability to
and
balance
sometimes
personal life
mocked her
and career,
vulnerability.
the fast
And
pace
that does
became
something to a
emotionally
woman.
draining.
That creates
She
wounds that
described how
don't
she
just
often found
disappear.
herself
That builds
compartmentalizing,
walls around the heart,
performing on
walls
stage
that
with a
aren't
smile
easy
while
to break
privately
down,
dealing with
even when
exhaustion,
love finally comes
anxiety,
shocking again. Tamar has always been emotional, expressive, transparent. She doesn't hide her feelings behind a media-trained smile. When she's happy, the whole world feels it. When she's hurting, she cries in front of the world, unashamed. She's real in a way most celebrities aren't, and it's why fans love her. but it's also why people worry about her whenever she gets into a new relationship. Because Tamar loves deeply, intensely, passionately. She gives her full heart. And when it breaks loudly. So when fans began noticing that Tamar looked peaceful in a way they haven't seen in years, not loud happy, not performative happy, but truly, deeply, soulfully peaceful, everyone knew this man had to be different. Let's talk about the age gap, because that's a whole conversation on its own. Social media had a field day with it. Some people raised eyebrows, some cheered, some cracked jokes. But most people defended Tamar. Because let's keep it real, men date younger women constantly. It's practically a Hollywood sport at this point. Yet when a successful, powerful, fully grown woman chooses a younger man who is emotionally stable, financially secure, and spiritually compatible with her, people want to throw opinions around. But Tamar is grown. She knows who she is. And if she chooses to date someone younger, that's her business. Especially if that younger man has proven himself mature, capable, steady, and able to match her emotionally. And maturity is the key here. Because although he is younger, people who know him say he is incredibly grounded, confident without being arrogant, intelligent without being condescending, protective without being controlling. The type of man who brings peace with him, like it's part of his aura. The type of man who understands that Tamar doesn't need a knight, she needs a partner. Someone who understands her communication style, her passion, her sensitivity, her humor, her fire. And that's exactly what fans are saying. He matches her energy. And not just the big, bold Tamar energy that the world sees, but the quiet Tamar, the soft Tamar, the vulnerable Tamar, the Tamar who wants to be held instead of constantly being strong. Insiders say this younger man has shown up in ways that Tamar is not used to. They say he is consistent, not just with gifts or big gestures, but with the small things, the check-ins, the emotional reassurance, the calm presence, the gentle listening. They say he makes her laugh, like really laugh, the kind of laugh that comes from the soul, not from entertainment. They say Tamar feels safe with him, and when a woman feels safe, everything about her changes. The way she talks, the way she walks, the way she sleeps, the way she glows. Fans have noticed all of it. They've pointed out how rested she looks, how lighter her comments sound, how peaceful her posts feel, how much more balanced her energy is. And when fans see that, they don't just celebrate, they protect it. Because they know Tamar's heart has scars, and they don't want to see her hurt again. Another thing that fans love about this relationship is how private it is. Tamar isn't posting him every day. She isn't dropping breadcrumbs. She isn't teasing fans. She isn't giving interviews about him. She isn't making their relationship a storyline for the world. And that is exactly why people are excited, because Tamar has always been very public with her love life, and sometimes that has backfired on her. But this time, she's doing it differently. She's protecting it. Sometimes silence is the loudest sign of real love. This man, despite being wealthy and successful, is not chasing cameras. He isn't trying to be seen. He isn't trying to be famous by association. In fact, the more people try to uncover who he is, the more private he seems to be. And that right there tells you everything. Because attention-seeking men have never worked for Tamar. She needs someone grounded, stable, confident, and secure enough in himself to not need to compete with her spotlight. This younger man is reportedly exactly that. A man with a career, a man with investments, a man with a business, a man with ambition, a man with discipline, a man with financial power that he built on his own, not from Tamar's fame. And because he has his own identity, he allows Tamar to be herself, loudly, fully fully, beautifully, without feeling threatened. People close to Tamar say he has become a safe space for her, someone she can talk to about her dreams, her fears, her healing, someone who understands her sensitivity instead of judging it, someone who doesn't try to fix her, but supports her as she fixes herself, someone who stands with her with quiet strength instead of loud chaos. And that is what fans are celebrating the most, because Tamar has fought for her peace for years. She has gone through heartbreak, loss, public pressure, betrayal, career challenges, and personal struggles. She's been trying to rebuild herself, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, step by step, layer by layer. So when fans see her in the hands of a man who is gentle with her heart instead of reckless with it, they rejoice. People online are already imagining Tamar's future, vacations, business collabs, family blending, emotional growth, maybe even engagement. But Tamar isn't rushing anything. This time she seems to be letting the story unfold naturally, without needing to control the narrative or force the timing. Because when love is real, it doesn't need to be rushed.
And then,
at the end of the day, what matters most is that Tamar Braxton finally looks like a woman who is not just being loved, but being loved well. Loved
from heartbreak
softly,
to healing,
loved
from silence
consistently,
to self-expression,
loved
from confusion
maturely,
to clarity.
loved by someone
Her
who
story
sees
isn't
her
defined by a
heart,
breakup,
not just her
but
name,
by the courage
someone
to
who
reflect,
values her
reassess,
spirit, not
and
her
realign her
spotlight,
life with her values.
someone who brings her
And as she
peace,
steps into
not
her next
pain.
chapter,
And
one
if
thing
this
is
younger,
certain.
wealthy,
Kelsea
grounded
isn't
man is the one doing that for her, then baby, let Tamar have her joy, let her have her peace, let her have her soft life, because she earned it, she fought for it, and now she's finally living it.